What's going on, guys? I'm back with a new Twine Endurance update video. So it's been a while and I wanted to go through my base and show you everything that I changed. So you're going to see a lot of glitch traps on most of my amps, and I just want to say that they're all 100% optional with the exception of Valley, because Valley requires all of the glitch traps. So we'll start over on Homebase East. This is the exact same block off. The only difference is that I changed the pathing over here. So I used to path them on this tile, and I ended up moving it this way because there's a rare spawn that can break this tile. And if this tile breaks, they're gonna break this floor because there's a gap right here. And I actually got extremely lucky in a way because I had wave 11 and 21 on this side on Homebase East. And what happened was on wave 11 you get a lot of propanes. So what happened was this floor got destroyed from the spawn, and all the propanes ended up breaking this tile. And then on wave 21 everything just broke straight through the middle, and I failed. Which, that's extremely rare to get 11 and 21, especially on the same side. So that's like extremely rare. But all I did was move the pathing back one tile. So I have a free strap under here that's floating, but you don't need it. And a wall launcher just for some crowd control. And wall light, floor launcher, wall light, floor launcher, and wall launcher. And then I have this floating tar right here. And then over here, almost nothing makes it to this tile. So if you don't have the glitched tar pit, this will work. Get everything down. So the perks for these are 4x impact, 1 reload. And then this is 2 reload. 3 impacts, these two. And you can use any type of wall lights you have. No changes for Homebase North. Same build I've been using for a long time. Vocaloids build. I don't believe I touched the block off here on this build, but I did update it. So I got rid of the geyser, and I made it a bit cheaper by adding this J block. And if you're not familiar with this, the husks and the smashers will get pushed down, and they'll come up here, they'll stop right here and turn around and go back, and then they'll just get stuck here and then kind of loop back and forth, so they'll never actually make it back up there. They don't path over here either, so they just kind of path back and forth, and they're stuck down there indefinitely. Actually, I do believe I changed this block off. This is actually Vocaloid's old block off, and I added these 4 wooden pieces right there because I was testing the lobber shield. I had a problem with the lobbers, but I finally solved it. And I think it had to do with this block off and the extra tiles. I think because the lobbers were able to see the amp from here. I'm not really sure, but they were throwing like crazy. So that fixed it. And I got rid of the anti-airs over here because they were no longer throwing. And this is the same path. I just have some floating wall lights. And then this tile has wall light and wall launcher on it. But it's totally optional. You don't have to add it. If you don't have any glitch traps, you might have 1 or 2 husks make it past. So you could maybe put like a wall dart right there. Maybe some extra damage right here, and like a tire trap. Push them down here. Something like that. Should be good to go there. Devil, I don't think I touched in a long time because I still have the double floor traps here that I shifted back before it was patched. But I added these floating traps, and I moved this tire trap. I directioned it this way so that they get pushed into here, and the rest of them push them back. I think I might have changed the direction of one of these. I think this pushes, yeah, this pushes them back in here. And I haven't touched Devil West at all. Very good build by Mitch Robs. I think I added this because sometimes this gets destroyed. I don't know if it's a rare spawn or maybe the husk spawns really close to this wall and they just decide to hit it, or maybe the blaster. So I have a floor freeze, which is on this tile, and I don't think I updated anything on here. I added these holes because I saw a video by Robot Smoke that said sometimes husks can get stuck in these holes whenever you use like a wall launcher next to it. And when they get stuck in the holes, they don't break it, and they just kind of sit there and they don't despawn. But I've never actually seen it happen, but totally optional. I think it's kind of cool though. And I did go back to the sound walls instead of letting them path back, because I felt like it was just a better build with them down here. So these are 0 reloads. They must be 0 reloads, and that prevents them from despawning. They'll stand in this corner or they'll stand over here as long as you're standing by Valley. So if when you're up there, they will sit right here in the corner and they won't despawn. And then this is a completely different build, which my friend helped me build. And it's just loaded with glitch traps. And I don't know if I want to formally put this in the video, but it's something I'm testing. My old bridge worked perfectly fine, so I just felt like doing something different. This is kind of just like a concept at this point. This is more of just a concept of like how much damage you can glitch into the tunnels. It's just absolutely insane. Like all the traps that are in here, like there's just so many. So yeah, as I was saying, this is just a concept. You can still use my old bridge build. But what's actually pretty interesting is on wave 20, I had 0 husks activate this trap. Nothing made it even to here. And these are floating. So we got dynamo on both sides, dynamo on this side, sound walls and wall light darts, and then some RBB on these sides. And I had this RBB'd, but I realized it doesn't work because Smashers will just break this and come up around there, and there's no way to stop them from doing that. So I just opened this up, let them path here. And this is probably way too much block off. I just haven't decided to trim it back yet because I'm just testing it, so yeah. I don't think I've touched this either, this build. I think I just added this floating tar pit for fun. Same build. Oh yeah, I added this because I actually saw a husk go and break on this tile and bypass this wall because the gap was just barely big enough. Should be all the same. I think I had this floating, but I connected it. because specifically on this amp and on Ridge, you can't have a floating design because lobbers will go absolutely insane. They will throw from spawn all the way up like 100 feet in the air and hit the amp. It's crazy. So I have these just in case. I don't know if it still happens, but you can just put a few of these here if that's an issue you're having. And this is basically the old build from the last video, but I just added some glitch traps, and then I changed the pathing slightly, so this is a half stair. If this is a full stair, I figured the host might want to try to take a shortcut and break this. So by making it a half stair, they have no choice but to go this way. I don't even think you need the block off here anymore, because there's no reason for them to try to go over here. But I just left it. This build works like 95% of the time, maybe a little bit more. There's a rare chance that a smasher gets stuck around here. Like, I think they get stuck on the wall, and they'll just get mad and hit the stair or the floor for some reason. I don't know why, and I don't think it's I don't think there's any way to fix that. So I've seen maybe twice where they had to break through the middle on like wave 29, because it happens sometimes. So be wary of that. So this is lava, and I don't believe I've shown this before, but it's basically the same build, except since Assassin got patched, I just added more block off. And I put a bunch of glitch traps in this tunnel, but totally unnecessary. I just did it for fun, because it doesn't matter if you kill the smasher or not, because they're just going to get launched into the lava. So this amp design will just get everything into the lava that makes it through, other than the husk that will damage the amp. So just mini bosses and smashers, they'll get launched into the lava. But I'll try to show this block off as best I can. I believe it's a few layers here. So wall here, there's full walls in this spot. There's walls here so that they don't break down. And I did put a healing electric field here because of the mini boss with the damage pulse. If you get that too often, this floor might get like half health, and I think the husks see that and they want to just break the rest, and they'll go straight down. But as long as you add the extra block off, they don't do that. So another floor here, like a full box, and then this is all walled off. I think I have like healing spikes on these. It's mostly just the damage pulse mini boss just causing a lot of damage. Like if you glitch a lot of traps in here, you just add a lot more damage. The damage pulse will just get even worse. So you can just use floor freezes here, the way it's always been. And then the front of this just has sound walls for the propane. And then these are some floating wall launchers, just for some extra crowd control. So I don't remember the perks on these, but yeah, this is a power level 69, which I used to use for the when the smasher had the impact guard, which is no longer a thing. I usually do like this one, the gray reload, or if you don't have this, you could just use the one reload in Aldura. Then you have one that's double reload, like this one. And then this, you can use like the blue reload, blue perk. I've never seen a propane blow up in this tunnel, so this is extremely effective, especially with the tires pushing them down, this pushing them back. They're constantly getting pushed backward every step they take up this ramp. So the sound walls are extremely effective for that, and the tires. I believe, yeah, I put a wall spike there because sometimes if you're standing like somewhere over there, somewhere, the assassin husk will come up here and hit on this. So I think that's all the updates for lava. Now Valley is just absolutely crazy. Glitch traps like crazy. This is a shifted floor. You don't need this because I already have this floor freeze here. I just still have this from when you used to be able to shift the floor traps. And then some pillars, which you don't need. They're more effective for the UFO. That's gonna break. But that's alright. The UFO, when they zap these, it only breaks this. So normally it breaks things in a 2x2 tile, or 1.5 by 1.5, something like that. But when the UFO zaps these, it only zaps this. So you have a lot more space to put more tiles. So it's like double the amount of floor tiles. So you basically just want to ensure that this doesn't get broken, which sometimes it doesn't, but like I would say 80% of the time it gets broken on 25. But as long as you have the damage, you should be good. This is Robot Smoke's Immortal Valley, and then I added wall launchers surrounding it. So basically nothing ever gets close to the amp. I'm thinking of removing this wall launcher and this one, just for the chance that a husk gets hit by it and it deflects and they get hit into the amp, because sometimes they can get launched at a weird angle, and I'm trying to go for like 0 damage. So this tile right here has, I believe, 8 wall darts stacked, and this tile right here has 8, and this has 3. And I believe every other trap, there's no more stacked, so it's just 1. So like 1 wall light, 1 wall dart, 1 wall launcher. And I haven't seen Valley take damage like at all, other than wave 26. It happens sometimes. So you can always add more traps if you wish, but it's just so many traps. As long as you have the structures, go for it. And then I put a healing trap here, because sometimes a husk gets launched up here somehow. I've seen it before. If they make it up here, they'll hit this. And I still have some shifted floors, but you can just put them under the map and float them. This is like tar pit freeze. This is shifted from here, and then this shifts over to here. And there's freeze under there. I think there's a tar under each one of these. And this is what I call the crab block off, because it looks like a crab. And it just stops everything from pathing here. And I changed this block off because I used to have a cone like right here, and I observed some smashers actually just came over here just to break this, and then they turned around and went back. And I don't know why, but it's only happened once, even though I've had that there for a long time. So I just moved them up 1 tile. And then this is the connection piece, which you could probably just float this if you want. Save the tile. Beach is exactly the same, I think, other than some floating tar right here, which is optional. Might have added these extra wall lights just because I have structures. Why not? But totally optional. I don't remember if I had these, but I used to have a problem where when I used a block on this ramp, like when I would keep all the husks down here, if I blocked it with like RBB or something, all the lobbers will just pull around over here and they would throw up at the floors and break them. So I just kept these here just in case. I'm not sure if you need them, but as long as the husks have a path and they don't hang around the beach, they shouldn't be throwing at all. And this is all the same. I've barely touched beach at all. And then ramp, this pathing is pretty much identical. I tried saving tiles by removing like most of these, but yeah, I had the lobbers throwing because I think the amp was visible. Like I removed this wall and that, and the husks or the lobbers were just throwing because they could see the amp. So these are all necessary, these ceilings. I might have removed a trap here, and that's all the same. That's the same. I added this for just extra crowd control. Like sometimes a huskling will make it past because they'll follow the mini boss on wave 13. So that should help. And then I just, instead of doing 3 floors right here, I just put up 1 ramp and 1 floor just to save a tile. And then we have RBB. So instead of the massive block off, I switched to RBB. And then I kept these walls here because I think, well, I've never seen it, but I just figured that a flinger could possibly just stand here and throw. So I'm not sure if that's necessary, but you can try it without it if you want. Floated the ceiling drops, which I don't think are necessary because they almost never come over here. And yeah, that's all you need. Just the RBB on these ramps. And then this little lobber shield. So I had just the bottom layer here, just these ones. And the flinger could still throw, so I just had to add an extra layer up top, and now it's working perfectly. And then I cheapened the amp design. I got rid of these poles because the mini boss would break them. Never actually saw that somehow. And then I got rid of the little pad over here, like the teleport pad. It was like something like this. Because the mini boss never actually used this, so I believe they teleport like right here, like the spot, and then just come up here. And my friend told me once that a mispod broke the stair, which I've never seen it, so I'm not sure if I need to update the amp smasher bridge. So if anyone comes across that, let me know. So I could make like maybe something different. I'll have to think about it. So I think that's everything, right? Yeah. Those are all the updates. And if you have any questions specifically about like trap perks, or if you want to see my build, you can add me and we can load into my storm shield. So thank you guys for watching, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.